A continuous time signal is called as a function. Continuous time signal, we call it as a function, and discrete time signal, we call it as a sequence. So these are the notations. So whenever there is a continuous time signal, that is called as a function, and a discrete time signal will be called as a sequence. And why do we need to study signals? Signals carry information, and information is the basic thread of life. We need information for processing, we need information for manipulation, we need information for recording. So that's why we need to study signals. And one more important thing, whatever real time signals, what is meant by real time signals? The signals that occur in practice. That occur in practice means whatever signals we encounter in day to day life, all these signals are analog signals. Whatever happens with respect to time is called analog signal. Such as speech signal is there, image is there. Image is again a type of signal that carries information. What is the significance of an image? In image you will find all the information. So that's why it is said that an image is more worth than the 1000 words. If suppose I am using 1000 words to specify or elaborate a particular scenery, one image will be sufficient for that one. From an for example, a picture of forest is there, two trees are there, animals are there, lion is there. So those words won't be sufficient. Instead of 1000 words, if I'm showing you a single image, from the image you can come to know how many trees are there, birds are there, animals are there. So that's why a single image carries the information more than the 1000 words. Again, the typical example, we can see an ECG waveform. So you might have seen the ECG waveform, something like this, PQRST. So ECG stands for electrocardiogram. That shows the heart activity. So whenever there are some problems related with the heart, doctors always suggest for recording ECG. So typically ECG will be such type of signal. This is one of the period of ECG waveform. It will be having a continuous period. This will be a time, and this is will be with respect to amplitude. So from this waveform, the doctors can take the early decisions whether they need to go for some other treatment, they need to go for some surgery. So this signal carries a lot of information, and information is very necessary. So that's why we need to study signals. One more example we can take about the EEG. EEG stands for electroencephalogram. That shows the brain activity. Again, brain signals will be captured. Based on those signals, the doctor will take the decisions. Again, you might have heard about MRI imaging, that is magnetic resonance imaging, that is used to identify the location of tumors. So these are some of the typical examples where we use signals. One more example may be in communication system. In communication system, basic example we will take the mobile communication. In every communication system there is a transmitter, there is a receiver, in between we are having a channel. And what we are interested in sharing the information. So whatever information we want to transmit, the same information must be received at the receiver side. There should not be any distortion, there should not be any noise. So all these processing will be done by the signal processing devices, and that is called a system. So a system basically takes the input, manipulates the signals, adds some characteristics, and that characteristics may be either in terms of amplitude, in terms of phase, or in terms of frequency. The system basically performs the operation on signals. You will be having input signals, output signals, and system will perform the processing. And what is meant by processing? Processing means changing the characteristics of the signal. So that's why signals along with system, these are complementary to each other. Systems we need to modify the characteristics of the signals, and after modification we will obtain the signal in our desired form, and desired form may be with respect to our application. The example will be a filter. We are having different types of filters such as low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter. Based on our requirement of frequency, we are applying the cutoff frequency. In low pass filter we are interested in low frequencies, in high pass filter we are interested in high frequencies, in band pass filter we are interested in a certain band of frequencies. So based on our requirement, filter is a system that changes the characteristics of the input signal. So these are some of the examples of system. Now till now we have seen continuous time signal, discrete time signal. So just now I explained you continuous time signal. All the practical real time signals are continuous time signal. Voltage signal is there, current signal is there, and again we are having various biomedical signals such as ECG, EEG. Everything that happens with respect to time is continuous time signal, or it is also called analog signal. And whenever it is a sequence, that is discrete time signal. Discrete time signal, that is discrete in time, continuous in amplitude. The example will be a cricket match. For example, you are having 2020 match. In 2020 match, you will be having 20 overs, and in a single over there can be n number of runs can be scored. It may be either 0 run, 1 run, 10 run, 36 runs. So overs are going to be discrete, but the runs can take any value. So that is the example of discrete time signal. And one more thing, stock market exchange, again that is the example of discrete time signal. So that's why we need to study signals and systems. And the notation we have seen, function of time for continuous time signal, and a sequence, that is discrete time signal. And we will see how to plot discrete time signal. For example, we are having a sequence x of n as 1, 2, 3. How to plot this sequence? This sequence will be plotted on independent variable axis, that is with respect to n, at n equal to 0. So this indicates the signal location at n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2. At n equal to 0, the signal value is 1. At n equal to 1, what is the value? That is 2. And again at n equal to 2, the value will be 3. So this is the way of plotting a discrete time sequence. It is present at 0, 1, 2. Again the values are 1, 2, 3. So it is present at discrete intervals or integer intervals. That's why it is called discrete time signal. So that is the way of representing the discrete time signal. Accordingly, we can apply different types of operation on discrete time signal. The first one is, first of all we'll see the classification of signals, and that classification is again based on the type of independent variable. Type of independent variable, just now we have seen, based on the type of independent variable we have seen continuous time signal and discrete time signal. Type of independent variable is what we are having on the x-axis. On x-axis, if there are continuous values, the signal is called continuous time. If there are discrete values, the signal is called discrete time signal. So the properties of signals are based on the type of independent variable. Again, some of the properties are based on the characteristics of the signals.